What's up, family? Thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight. Look, I am super excited about this message. Oh my God, I cannot wait to share with you what God has given me in the last 48 hours. It's crazy. It's crazy. So tonight we're going to talk about Joseph and his dream. But the first thing that I want you to know, and I heard TD Jakes say this, don't die with your dream still in you. Do not die with that dream. God has given you a dream. God has given you a promise. God has put a desire in your heart for whatever it is that you are wanting God to do or turn around situation in your life. Like Will Smith said in Pursuit of Happiness, when you are given a dream, you got to protect it. You got to protect it. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what has happened to somebody else. You need to focus on what God is giving you and what God is calling you to do with that dream. You got to hold on to it, right? So I'm going to talk tonight about Joseph and his dream. And then again, I'm going to give you the revelation that God gave me. So y'all ready? All right. So this story is found in Genesis. So you can find this in Genesis chapter 41, like 41. And we're going to read one or two scriptures out of that. But the first thing that I want to do is just kind of summarize it for you. All right. In case you don't know about the story of Joseph, I want to give it to you real quick. So the first thing is Joseph is the favorite of 11 other brothers. So there's 12 of them total. Joseph is his dad's favorite. It says in the Bible that Joseph is his favorite. He loves him more than he loved the other brothers, which is crazy, but it's true. In fact, they have matching coats. He got a rainbow colored coat that he made, and then he gave one to his dad. They twinning. Everybody hate them now. Okay? So, Joseph's the favorite. He's the golden child. He's that. So what happens next is Joseph has a dream. God has given him the gift of not only having dreams, but understanding and interpreting dreams. So he has these dreams. He starts to share dreams with his brothers. The bad part about it is, in this dream, the brothers are inferior to him. And so when he shares this dream with them, they like, we hate you even more. Yo, you want to die? That's why you sharing this dream with us? You want to go on to see Jesus, don't you? So they get mad and they decide to throw him in a pit. They're like, we're just going to get rid of him, right? Throw him in the pit. They throw him in the pit. They take his coat. They kill some goats. They put blood on the coat, on Joseph's coat, right? To make it look like it's Joseph's blood, but it's not. And they take it back to their dad and say, you know what? I got bad news. Your baby boy, your favorite, he's gone. He got eaten by some wild beasts. His dad is devastated, torn apart. He mourns and mourns day after day after day, to the point to where he actually wanted to die. He dead, take me too. So he loved Joseph, all right? So Joseph is in this pit. The brothers get a little bit compelled or convicted, and they're like, we don't want murder on our hands. Like, let's just pull him out of the pit and let's sell him into slavery. So that's what they did. They pulled him out of the pit that they threw him in. They sell him into slavery. Now, he ends up under command of Potiphar. Potiphar now puts him in charge. So he's sold into slavery, but now he gets kind of like a leadership position. He gets put in charge. But unfortunately, some mess happens. He gets accused of something. You can read that in the Bible, okay? And then he gets thrown into jail. So now he's in jail. First he in the pit. Now he's in jail. But in jail, God promotes him again. It says the guard put him in charge. So this is the second time that God has elevated him. But now he's in charge, but he's still in jail. He interprets someone's dreams in jail with the hopes that they will get him out and set him free, because they get out and he's like, don't forget about me now, I told you, right? Remember me. They don't remember him. Not right away. They forget. So he's still in jail. Matter of fact, he stays in jail for 2 years. So in this time, now Pharaoh, who is number one in command, starts to have terrible dreams, horrible dreams, like dreams that he just can't figure out. And he tries to send for people to interpret the dream. No one's able to do it. And then someone who was in jail at that time with Joseph says, I remember there was this guy. There was a guy who interpreted a dream for us, and he was accurate. That's right. I forgot to tell you about him 2 years ago. He's still locked up. They won't let him out. No. So Pharaoh's like, okay, send for him. Bring me this guy that y'all talking about. Interprets dreams. So they sent for Joseph. Joseph comes out. He interprets Pharaoh's dreams. Now, Pharaoh dreams meant that there would be 7 years of abundance and food, right? And there would be 7 years of famine. So Joseph was able to predict this. Pharaoh followed the instructions of Joseph. He stored away enough food during the 7 years so that they would survive the famine. And so then now Pharaoh's like, hey, I'm putting you second in command, dude. You on fire. So now Joseph gets elevated for the third time again, and he is second in command to Pharaoh. Wild. Now, he's second in command to Pharaoh, which means everybody has to come to Pharaoh and his people to get food, to get a supply. Everybody, including, you know who, his brothers. So his brothers come up to him. Joseph gives him the food. They don't even recognize who he is. Joseph has to tell them. Once he tells them, they are compelled, right? They feel guilt, they feel shame, they feel all these things. Joseph forgives his brothers. So that's the story. But let me give you what God gave me. And this is so good. Whatever got you in the situation that you're in right now, whatever led you to that, God is going to use that to get you out of it. Because when I was reading this, I said, I remember Joseph getting thrown into the pit. But how did he get out of the pit and into the slavery and into jail? Like, how? His brothers threw him in the pit. His brothers pulled him out. I also want you to know this too. Joseph interpreted his dream. And that's what led him to being thrown in. But when he interpreted a dream for Pharaoh, that's what led him to being pulled out. So the dream that got him in was also the dream that got him out. Remember, this was God's promise. This was something that God gave to him. He held on to it and he protected it. And I got 2 more points. So the next point I want to make is this. Please hear this. Sometimes we don't want to share our dreams with other people for whatever the reasons are. But this is what I want you to know. If Joseph would not, and I thought about this, I'm like, why would you share this dream with your brothers when you know they're going to be upset? They already don't like you. They don't like you. You the favorite. You got a technical rainbow coat on. Y'all matching. They hate you. I said, why would you tell them? And I was like, oh my God. If he had not told them his dream, he would not have fulfilled it. Don't you die with that dream. If he had not told them the dream, he would not have lived the dream and experienced the dream. That was a part of God's plan for him. That's the reason he got thrown in the pit, thrown into jail, ended up secondhand to Pharaoh, and look where he is now. All because he refused to die with that dream. And then the last point that I want to make. So this story of Joseph is a story of forgiveness, because he forgave his brothers for a terrible thing that they did to him. Trials. He had a lot of trials. And when you read through this, I want you in your own time to just read through Genesis, 39, 40, and 41, because each time that he went through a trial, like when he got thrown into the pit, when he got incarcerated, it kept saying the Lord was with Joseph. The Lord was with him throughout all of it. And he knew it. He absolutely believed it. And I want you to know it and to believe that. God has not left you. God has not forsaken you. He is right there with you in the midst of it. He doesn't bail out because there's a storm. He uses it. He's like, I'm using all of this. Because if it's the enemy, whatever the enemy is throwing at you, God can use that for good. He has more power than the enemy. You got to remember that. The enemy don't have all power. God can take that situation and turn it around. But it's all about one word, and we're going to get to this. And I know just give me one more minute. You ready? Ooh, this is good. I do want you to open your Bible for this one, because this was the last one that God gave me. You got to. I've been thinking about it for 2 days. Just give me that, all right? Genesis 41, verse 15. Come with me. 41:15. And then I'm going to let you go and set you free. 41:15 says this. And I'm reading, it's not NIV, the King James Version. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, I have had a dream, and there is no one who can interpret it. But I have heard it said of you that you can understand a dream to interpret it. 16. Highlight this. Put a star next to it. Circle it. Write it on the tablet of your heart. So Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, it is not in me. It is not in me. God will give Pharaoh an answer of peace. God. Now hold on. Let me click, because I want to read. Hold on. Stay with me. Don't leave me, okay? Let me just go to my NIV version real quick. Okay. Here we go. Wait, where is it? So I believe it's the NIV version. But he says, I cannot do this. Now in the first, when Joseph first interprets a dream for his brothers, like when he tells them, like, this is a dream that I had, he didn't mention God. When he's in jail and he interprets the dreams for the guys in jail, he didn't mention God. But the third time, I cannot do this. Only God. And what that hit in my spirit was like, he's saying not only only God can interpret your dream, only God can get me out of this situation. Because it's all about God's glory. Something had to change in Joseph, and I had to really, really ask God, and I'm like, God, show it to me, because I'm not seeing where he's changing. And I know everything is about you conforming us. Everything is about your glory. Everything is about you revealing something to us that we just didn't see. Us experiencing another side of you. And Joseph got it. And that was the key to him getting out of this. So that final word that I wanted to give you was glory. Everything that happens to us in life, trials, storms, tribulations, ups and downs, we're all going to deal with it. We're all going to face it. God will create a situation for revelation, which leads to his glory. So I know this was a couple minutes longer, but I really hope and pray that message blesses you. I pray over your life, over your circumstance. I pray abundance, restoration, peace, forgiveness, all of the things. I pray that God shows himself to you, shows you something that you've never seen before. And I pray that you allow God to conform you and to change you. But you be blessed. I look forward to connecting with y'all soon. Thanks.